All right, football fanatics, buckle up because we're diving deep into the heart of Cleveland Browns territory. But hey, before we kick off, let's give a shout out to all the moms out there on this special Mother's Day. Now, onto the gridiron action. Ever wonder why the Browns just snagged another QB? 5 QBs on the roster? That's got heads spinning faster than a Baker Mayfield touchdown pass. But hold on to your helmets because we're about to break it down. You see, there's this new kid in town, Jacob Sirmon, fresh off his gig at Northern Colorado. And while the QB chatter's heating up, there's another name buzzing around camp, Michael Hall Jr. Will he light up the field from day one, or are we in for a slow burn? With Myles Garrett anchoring the defense, Hall's got some big cleats to fill, but don't count him out just yet. It's going to be a wild ride in Cleveland, and you won't want to miss a minute of the action. So grab your jerseys and get ready for some serious Browns talk. It's going to be one heck of a season.
The Browns just pulled a fast one and picked up yet another quarterback. And let me tell you, the Cleveland faithful are all over the place with their thoughts. You hop online, and it's like a wildfire of opinions burning through your screen, everyone trying to wrap their heads around why in the world the team would snag a fifth QB. And man, I feel ya, it's a head-scratcher, ain't it? But hey, don't sweat it, we're about to break it all down right here on this special homebound edition of the Cleveland Browns Report. Oh, and before we dive in, big shout out to all the moms out there on this Mother's Day. I bet Jacob Sirmon mom is beaming from ear to ear cause her boy just got scooped up by the Browns. Jacob did his thing over at Northern Colorado last season, and now he's the newest member of the squad. But hold up, let's pump the brakes for a sec and get to know Jacob Sirmon before we tackle the million-dollar question. Why add another QB to the mix? Especially when you already got 4 other fellas slinging it? Jacob was out there grinding at the Browns rookie minicamp this past weekend, which kinda makes sense considering the team needed some arms to chuck the ball around. They didn't snag a QB during the draft, so bringing in a tryout guy like Jacob isn't exactly out of left field. But what's got everyone scratching their heads is why bring in a 5th QB. That's the real head-scratcher, you know? Well, it's been a hot minute since I've peeped a team rollin' with 5 QBs on their squad. Can't even recollect when the Browns or any squad had that QB surplus. So check it, there's this dude, Jacob Sirmon, who did his college gig from Washington to Central Michigan and then landed at Northern Colorado for a couple of seasons, 2022 and 2023. Dude put up some solid numbers last season, 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns for Northern Colorado. Sometimes you catch these low-key QBs like Tyson Bent last year for the Bears, stepping up as a D2 player. Surprises pop off now and again in the QB realm, you feel? But here's the real scoop folks are chewing on, Deshaun Watson's shoulder. Are the Browns stockpiling QBs cause of his health woes, so they got at least forfeit ones for training camp? Folks might be fixating too much on Watson though. I reckon the bigger question mark is Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR for the quick. Recall, he wrapped up 2023 on IR with a hip injury. Towards the tail end of the season, it was all about Flacco, and poor DTR kinda faded into the background, no disrespect to him, obviously. So, taking a peek at what's going down with the Cleveland Browns QB situation, it's a whole bunch to chew on, especially with DTR nursing that hip injury from last season. We've been getting bits and pieces of updates on how he's coming along during the offseason, but the million-dollar question is if he'll be good to go for OTAs. Now, missing out on OTAs ain't the end of the world, but having all 4 QBs ready to rock for drills would be sweet. If DTR can't sling it, and they don't want to rush Watson, having a backup arm like Jacob Sirmon could be a lifesaver. Sirmon would be the 3rd-string QB after Tyler Huntley and Jameis Winston, if things pan out. Personally, I'm more concerned about DTR's health than Deshaun Watson's. Andrew Berry kinda hinted that OTAs might give us some insight into Watson's situation, but I reckon DTR's situation is what's driving this signing. But hey, maybe we're reading too much into it. Sirmon might have just crushed it during minicamp, catching the Browns' eye. It's not common, but talent can come from unexpected places. Still, if you're sweating over QB injuries, it looks like Watson's making strides in his recovery, unlike poor Joe Burrow, who's just getting back in the game after wrist surgery. when it comes to the possibility of Deshaun Watson starting Week 1, Barry's confidence is through the roof. He's really going all in, saying it's practically a done deal, not just a maybe. But let's not brush over the fumbles the Browns had with their QB situation last year. The communication about Watson's injuries was, well, not great. It was like riding a roller coaster with his status changing every day. One minute he's gearing up to play, the next he's back on the bench. And don't even get me started on that premature comeback against the Colts. That was a disaster. So, it's totally understandable if you're feeling a bit skeptical. The Browns definitely messed up in keeping us all in the loop about Watson's condition last season. You know, I'm kinda thinking Dorian Thompson-Robinson might be sitting out them OTAs cause of his hip issue. The Browns seem to be playing it safe, especially with the quarterback situation being what it is. With Watson, Winston, and Huntley in the mix, the Browns probably don't want to rush Watson back, especially for stuff like OTAs in May. Now, with just Winston and Huntley, it's clear the team wants to make sure they got enough quarterbacks for all the drills and team stuff during training camp. Seems like a smart move in the grand scheme of things. As for worrying about Watson's recovery, I ain't too concerned. Sounds like he's coming along fine, and by the time training camp rolls round, he should be good to go full throttle. OTAs are important, but training camp's where the real deal happens. So, let's not stress too much. Enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day, folks. Thanks for sticking around for the Cleveland Browns news. Is Michael Hall Jr. gonna light up the field for the Cleveland Browns right out of the gate? So check it, even though the Browns snagged him with their top pick in April's NFL draft, there's chatter he might not snag a starting spot in his rookie year. I mean, this cat's the Browns' second-round pick, right? Michael Hall Jr., he's got the goods to make some serious noise for the squad. But yo, will it be going down this season? Picture this, Myles Garrett, the Defensive Player of the Year, holding it down on the D-line with Dalvin Tomlinson, Shelby Harris, and Zadarius Smith. So, with that kinda lineup, Hall might only see action as a part-timer, you feel me? Like, coming off the bench and such. But peep this, Bleacher Report's Joe Tanzi's got his eye on Hall, saying he could still come in and make an immediate impact, even with limited reps. So, Browns fans, are we about to witness the rise of a new star? Or is it gonna be a slow burn for Michael Hall Jr.? Alright, folks, let's talk some Cleveland Browns, shall we? You know, with the draft picks and all. So, Dalvin Tomlinson, Shelby Harris, and Maurice Hurst, they're gonna be like the wise old heads for Hall during training camp, getting him all prepped up to hit the ground running, you feel me? Now, Hall ain't no first-round superstar, but he's our first pick. So there's gonna be a bit of that extra pressure cooker vibe when he gets his chance to shine. According to Bleacher Report, this kid's got some serious skills, quick off the snap, nimble as heck, and strong up top. But there's a catch, apparently, he's too hefty for defensive end but a tad too small for defensive tackle, which puts him in the backup zone. So here's the deal, we're all in for Hall making waves with the Browns, but maybe not straight out of the gate as a rookie, you dig? Tomlinson and Harris, they're holding down the fort in front of him on the depth chart, so Hall's gotta hustle past those seasoned pros to get that starting spot. But hey, don't get it twisted, just cause he's not rocking that starting jersey doesn't mean he's gonna be benchwarming. Nah, it all boils down to how he rocks it in training camp. That's gonna determine how much field time he clocks in. So buckle up, Browns fans, it's gonna be one heck of a ride. Alright, folks, let's talk Cleveland Browns. So, you know, we had ourselves a stellar draft last month, and then we tossed in a few pieces through free agency. But hey, just like every other team out there, we still got some gaps to fill. I mean, come on, after snagging some seasoned players like wideout Jerry Jeudy, linebacker Jordan Hicks, and quarterback Jameis Winston in free agency, we went even stronger in the draft with defensive tackle Mike Hall Jr. We had to, especially after losing Joe Flacco, Anthony Walker Jr., and Nick Harris, you know? So, what's left for our general manager, Andrew Berry, to snag up in this offseason? Well, according to Bleacher Report, here are the biggest needs left for the Browns after the draft and the initial wave of free agency, edge, LB, and CB. Alright folks, let's talk Cleveland Browns, the real deal, no BS. Now, last season, our defense was rocking it while the offense was, well, struggling. But hey, we ain't here to dwell on the past, nah. We're looking ahead to 2024, and let me tell ya, we got some serious potential brewing. First off, let's talk Deshaun Watson. Man, if he comes back full throttle, we're talking serious game-changer vibes. Props to Andrew Berry, our GM, dude's been crafting a squad with minimal gaps. But hey, we ain't perfect, right? Now, what's left on our to-do list? Depth on D, my friends. We got starters on both sides of the ball, no doubt. But losing Sione Takitaki and Anthony Walker Jr.? Ouch. Sure, we snagged Devin Bush and Jordan Hicks in free agency, but behind them? Slim pickings. Our cornerback trio? Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, and Greg Newsome too? Solid. But if one of them goes down, confidence levels drop faster than a Browns fan after a loss. So, what's the deal? We're eyeing LB Quan Alexander, CB Akella Witherspoon, and Edge Yannick Ngakoue. These dudes could seriously amp up our defense, take it from good to great. Alright folks, let's talk Cleveland Browns. Rumor has it, according to BR, there are some gaps we gotta fill, you know what I mean? So, here's the scoop, we're talking about beefing up that defense. And guess what? There's still some free agents out there just waiting to be scooped up. First off, let's chat about linebacker Quan Alexander. This guy's up for grabs and could be the missing piece to our defensive puzzle. I mean, imagine him in that Browns jersey, wreaking havoc on the field. It's a match made in football heaven, folks. But wait, there's more. How about Akella Witherspoon? This dude could add some serious depth to our secondary. He's been holding it down for the Los Angeles Rams, and I gotta say, the guy's got skills. We bring him on board, and suddenly our defense is looking mighty fine. So, Cleveland Browns fans, keep your eyes peeled for any updates. 'Cause who knows, we might just snag these guys and turn our defense into an unstoppable force. Stay tuned for more Cleveland Browns news, 'cause you never know what's gonna happen next.